What's going on with dance and stuff? What's happening with dance and things? What's going on? What's happening? What's going on with dance and stuff?
We're
Oh
live.
my god, we're not actually yet. We're still watching
Hi,
Regal.
Jack. There's a delay. Don't forget. Okay. Hi.
That's right. We're on a delay. And yet not. Because
Jack, will you acknowledge the elephant in the room?
please don't call Aaron that. You know that I call Aaron my little pupperkins. On some days. On some days. I mean, Leisure and Other, that we have Erin Markey here, my Leo sister from another Mister.
Pulled a strength card this morning from the tarot deck. That's the Leo card. Love
That
Ooh.
is the Leo card. I always get Hierophant.
Really?
What? Did you say Hierophant?
In this way, I said Hierophant.
What's that?
Aaron, who's the Hierophant?
Oh, God, I barely ever pull it, so not relevant to me.
I think the Hierophant's like a magician. Like,
Magician.
Yeah, and it's like
Magician.
a masculine position. I love to pull the Empress. I don't love to pull the Emperor.
I had a reading where it was it's been pulled up that you are getting Emperor and Empress, and that you need to traverse being a ruler from a femme mask position. And I was like,
that's good.
Yeah, correct.
I went to Enchantments and had them make me a candle, which they were like, we don't make that candle. And I was like, my friend said he made it for her. And then I said my friend's name and they made me the candle.
What was the candle?
Yeah.
It was an Emperor Empress candle.
What does that mean? It smelled both like an emperor and an empress?
It meant to really step into being your own father and your own mother, that you're your own parents. And shortly after I lit that candle, my life fell completely apart.
Do you ever have one armpit that smells not as good as the other, and like you can't even wash away the smell with soap?
No.
Okay.
They usually match. I have a symmetrical odor.
Are you not using, can you even get alcohol to make your deodorant at this point?
I just ran out, I have to say, but I think sometimes those get old like clothing, and you have to trim them a little bit so that they don't hold on to the odor.
I just think that some deodorants don't. Well, here's one theory. You didn't put deodorant on that one armpit.
I haven't put any on in 2 months, I'm gonna say.
Every day I discovered that the hard way.
That you didn't put deodorant on?
Yeah. I bathe 3 times a day, but I forget the other things.
How many times?
I'm exaggerating. I would say 1 to 2.
Wait, Aaron, what's your deodorant of choice?
Okay, I had been using Schmidt's, which you can now find at a Dwayne Reed or what have you. It's one of those natural ones that cost like $8.
Wow.
But my friend, or my sweetheart's friend, Belinda, got us this little glass jar of deodorant cream where you like put your little fingers in and you rub it around on your armpit. Now for me, since I have a lot of armpit hair, I feel like I'm just, doodling it in my hair.
You're just conditioning.
Like mousse, yeah. It's just mousse for my armpit hair.
Yeah. It's leave-in conditioner. It's nice. That's my armpit hair. Is yours like that?
Let's see.
Oh my God, armpit hair. I love this.
Or like a razor.
Jack, I think you can do scissors with your left hand.
I'm gonna go with Aaron's response on that. I'm kind of like
Aaron, I talk to Jack all the time, but I rarely talk to you. I'd like to know what's a typical day in quarantine for Aaron Markey?
Oh God, there's been many eras so far.
Whenever I say stuff like that, I'm reminded of when Gwyneth Paltrow goes, "Has there ever been a Ripley rainy day?" in The Talented Mr. Ripley? Anyways, go on.
Everybody just rewatched that except for me, but I've seen it.
Oh, good.
I also didn't rewatch it because Reed rewatched it, and that meant in this way I rewatched it. What have the eras of your quar been like?
The era that I'm in right now is I have this like plastic tub of financial documents that I've never even opened. And they go back to like 2004.
No.
And
Aaron,
yeah. And so
No.
that's why I had to draw the strength card.
Aaron, you can throw everything away until 2013.
But that is what I discovered and kind of knew. But what I found out by looking at all of my financial documents from 2004.
Aaron and I both have an Aries moon.
Yeah.
What that means is that receipts, a bill, a check, even money we could be receiving, we cannot handle it. We absolutely are like, ugh, yuck, boring. And like, that's not sexy. That's not fuckable. Leave me alone. Like, we can't handle it. And Aries moon is like, money, what? Because we're just driven on like, what song am I going to sing today?
I know. I found 3 years worth of prepared taxes that I had hired a human being to do for me and never sent to the IRS, where I was supposed to receive thousands of dollars.
Aaron! Aaron! The accountant has to send it for you.
Aaron,
it was
from the ticket. Because I really struggle organizing, caring about money in any way. Thank God I have a design partner who's like at least she cares a little bit.
Harriet can do it a little bit better than
you. Yeah, she likes to write letters to people and say, you should pay us this much. She's not afraid to do that. I'm like, whatever you have. But
whatever
you need an accountant who understands that you're literally disabled. Because we have an accountant who understands, literally he'll call us and be like, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to sign this for you and send it. And I'll be like, I don't know what that means, but yes.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Wait, so Aaron, when you found these prepared tax documents that a human being, you paid a human being for, not a puppy or something sadder, and you would have gotten money, did you then send it to be like, can I have this money now?
No, because the only reason I'm capable of doing this right now is because in the last several years I've become a responsible human being. So now I'm going back to where I wasn't. And what I do know is that they will not pay you more than 3 years retroactively. So that's just for a special man named Donald Trump.
Oh wait, is that something that changed under Donald Trump?
No. This was actually under Obama, so it was.
It was Obama's fault.
Administration.
Everything is.
Especially now.
After I went through this one breakup, I did have a lawn bag filled with mail that I didn't that I didn't open for a year, and then Reed came over and went through. For what happened after that.
It's actually easier when it's not yours. Do you know what I mean? To go into someone else's mail is so liberating because you're like, there's no stakes. There's no pressure here. It's not my money.
Yeah. Right. I have a lot of like hot tips for like other people when they tell me their bullshit, as if I've just been clicking away at it for years. But
I absolutely can be a Susie Orman for someone else. But for me, I'm like a 6-year-old period when it comes to money. It's not, I can't handle it. It's too scary. I need to, for Bard, I get travel reimbursement, and every year I give it to them all at the very end, and they're like, why? Why? And then they'll like be like, I don't know what it is. And what you can't get on travel reimbursement is you can't get your tolls. Tolls only save for 1 month on the New York State toll site, and then they're gone.
Really?
You guys, who knew there'd be an episode of our Instagram Live about financial planning?
Why not?
Wait, listen. So I'm taking this class right now through Creative Capital called Archival Storytelling. And I was under the impression when I started taking it that it was for artists and their own personal archives of like past work. It's definitely not. It's definitely not for that. It's for like what you would think of when you think of archives, like dead artists, like whole populations of people or like whole eras that like went, you know, studied or unrepresented. But like since I went into it basically with the goal of being like, this will be your incentive for organizing the tub, because there's other stuff in the tub too. It's not just financials. It's old cable bills, and it's
that's financials. That is cable bills are financials, by the way. Like
also pleasure, also leisure. I consider a cable bill a night out.
Right off. It's right off.
It's a write-off, quite frankly, because it's entertainment.
And you have to learn. You need to learn from HBO for your craft.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not anymore.
So wait. So you were taking this archival class, and then what happened from that?
Well, our assignment last week was to come up with 3 stories that we might be able to use the archive to tell. And I immediately was like super defensive. I was like, I don't start with the stories.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The archive tells me what the story is. And then even then it's not a story. But I decided that one of the stories was my relationship to taxes. And that was yesterday. Today I was like, nah, I'm gonna throw all this shit out. Because
I also want to tell ladies, gentlemen, and other who are watching this thing that is, if you follow Erin on Instagram, we know this happened, that you had a Yaddo residency where you went to do your taxes.
I did 3 years. That's how the responsibility started.
Like I brought my taxes all around the world, thinking I'm going to work on them in a hotel room. I never have. Never once.
You can't pretend like you're going for another project and then you'll do your taxes. You have to be like, no, I'm wasting 5 years on doing.
You're like, I don't know a person in Dusseldorf, Germany. I'll do my taxes, and then you don't. You just lay in bed and look at. Instagram.
I remember doing my taxes once on the Amtrak going to Bard, and I was like, I'm gonna get these done in 2 hours.
Yeah.
And by taxes, I mean going through my receipts.
Yes, me too.
And I started, and I got like through 10, and then I fell asleep.
Yes.
I was like, this is impossible.
I know.
Every year it's so scary. And it is the same relationship I have to doing my travel reimbursement for Bard. And
yes, me too.
I need that money back. They should pay me. But they're like, you have to let us know. And I'm like, just give me this max you can give.
Yeah.
Just give me the max.
Give me the max.
But then it like goes back and forth from having so much compassion for the institution and like why they couldn't just give you the max, like you have to prove, and then being like, you know what I live off of.
I think I only live in B. I think I kind of don't have I don't live in A of like when an institution is like an institution, that is when I'm like, get me the money. I'm like,
I think there's probably like $200,000 of money that I could have claimed as reimbursement in my life. I just didn't bother or didn't know.
No, I know.
I think you also kind of have to ration out like suicide, because like if working on it is gonna make you kill yourself, don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Is that I was raised by like a spreadsheet fetishist. So like once I actually start, I'm like, woo, yeah, like this is going straight to my hips, and I want bigger hips.
Do you know how to use Excel?
I use Google Sheets.
Oh,
It's for
All that
showed
stuff
me
stresses me out.
Jeremy showed me how to use Google Sheets this past tax season, and I was like, I can't. Like,
I write in a notebook and I make these endless lists of numbers. It's like entertainment. It'll be like 300 numbers, and then I calculate it with literally a calculator.
Yeah.
Calculator.
Yeah,
It's archaic. I'm a child.
wait, Erin, was it your mom who was the spreadsheet master?
I wouldn't say master. I would say fetishist.
Okay,
Wow.
your mom was a spreadsheet fetishist. And what would she spreadsheet?
Oh my God. Every piece of furniture in our house.
This is what I was looking for. I was hoping it wasn't going to be like just numbers, but it was going to be.
Why? Why?
Birthdays of every human being in like all of our extended families by birth. Like,
wait, but why the furniture in case it got stolen? Why was it docked? Why?
Because we moved a lot, and yeah, she was worried that it would get damaged, or she was paranoid that people would steal it because she's a Republican.
Wow. Were groceries a spreadsheet?
Yes, groceries are a like standard list that have like spaces for like new things, and they're organized by section of the grocery store. I don't have the ability to go to the grocery store and not organize my list by like section.
What's the house look like? The mother's house? Is it just piles of lists, or is it amazing? Is it immaculate?
It's a combination of like a hoarder's house and like an immaculate person's house. She's also like a clean, like she has a specific way that she likes to clean that is like really insane and overwhelming.
Wait,
She's a fun mom. She's fun.
Reed, I have to just like backtrack you a moment. Did you hear when Erin said because my mom's a Republican?
No. How did I miss it?
Because you wanted to know about the grocery list, and so I needed to push you back a moment to just take it in.
Wow. Do you talk to your mom?
Do I talk to her? Yeah, I talk to her all the time. I love her. Like,
I also love Erin's mom, and who I met, I think the first time at Irish Cream. Was that the first time I met your mom?
Probably. She definitely came and took notes on Holiday Inn Express stationery.
How are they feeling about the president right now?
My mom did not vote for Trump. She, my dad did, but my mom wrote somebody in, and that person was my dad.
I wish he'd won, Erin. I really do. I wish he'd won.
Can you imagine if we were like, here we are with first child, because I'm not going to gender you, so it's going to be here we are with our first child, Aaron Markey. Because
first child.
No, but you call all the first children like that. Like if there's multiple children, they're all first children because it's like first lady and then children, right?
Sorry, you're talking presidential stuff.
Presidential. We'd be like, here we are with first child, Aaron Markey of the president. What's your dad's name?
My dad's name is Patrick.
Of President Pat.
Pat. She's sheltering in place in one of the corner rooms at the White House. It's very small.
Here Erin is sheltering in place in one of their childhood rooms at the WH.
Yeah, that's the room where they put President Lincoln's wife when she'd really lose her mind, in that room.
I heard about that. Let's gossip about.
President Lincoln's wife would get cray-cray.
I think she was, well, I only know that from the Daniel Day-Lewis, Sally Field, because she's crazy.
Mm.
That's how they portray any woman with an opinion.
Wait, you guys, I have show and tell. Is it time?
Oh, yeah. Well, if you want to, sure. Let's do show and tell now.
So this is first show and tell. When it's simple, this is something you can all do at home if you want to.
Oh.
Wow.
You literally just sprinkle lentils on a wet paper towel.
Wow.
Netta showed me how to do that.
Wow.
Wait, here's my question. Are you going to keep letting it grow until quarantine is over? Or are you going to?
Yeah, well, I mean, quarantine may never end, but Netta told me when they get
I love that.
And
Me
then,
too.
but when do you eat them?
Never.
Oh,
Pet. You know what I mean? You could eat them, but I won't.
When is Aunt Jane's birthday?
It was in February 15th.
But my moon is in Aries.
Oh yes.
Aunt Jane also has a moon in Aries, so Aunt Jane understands, like, if you're an Aries moon, you have to be in charge. And
We're in
Okay.
Aries right now,
So
right?
My
No,
no,
second
we're
show,
Taurus still.
Shit.
my second show and tell's monumental. Are you ready?
Okay, absolutely ready. Reed's jaw fixer.
My braces.
Conditioner?
Yeah, wait, no, look. Okay, so look, you open it.
I
Okay,
know,
and
I
then
just
so-
yelled about that, Jane.
No,
Okay, so then look at the box, right? Luxury, okay? Okay.
I wish we were sponsored by Bite.
I know. Okay, so
Well
Okay.
done.
and I should tell you I've already put in the first set, but I'm going to re-put it in for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I took it out. Okay. So I'm putting this down. So the first box has a little pull, right? Like that. And this has the 15 weeks of aligners. I'm going to put them in, okay?
Okay.
very Amy.
The drawers.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. Russell showed me the drawers. I love it. Okay. So this is the case that comes with it. And right now, and it has a little mirror.
I love that.
Cute. Wait,
And
each
this is
one-
a like plastic crochet hook to get them out of your teeth because they really clamp on. Okay.
Wait,
And
Reed,
there's
is this like mirrored lip thing in each one of those packets you just opened?
no.
Oh.
This is just the case they give you to store them in when you eat because I have to wear them for 22 hours a day.
Because I was gonna be like, wow, that's wasteful.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That was my
And then this isn't a file they give you in case you need to adjust the shape of your aligners, but mine felt good, so I didn't use it. Okay. So this is the top teeth. Ready?
Huh?
Did you make your own mold of your teeth or did you go?
Yeah, I did. So
I
that's
watched
in.
him do it.
Okay, they're in.
Wow, can't even tell.
I mean, you can if you're close, and I have a list when I wear them.
Oh,
Well,
I like the
Take
list.
time to wear them
Thank you.
because if you're only seeing people on Zoom, you really can't tell. Even
Tell
if-
me about it. I got these immediately in quarantine. I was like, I'm doing braces. No one cares.
Why are you doing braces?
I don't know.
Weird.
I want to have my dentist basically said if your bite is perfect, your teeth will last longer.
Well, that's called capitalist dentistry.
Well, he didn't tell me to get the braces. I chose. Okay, this is a foam that you put in the aligners before you put them on your teeth, and it whitens the aligners and your teeth, and it smells really good. Okay. And then this I love because they put a ribbon in the box to make extricating the other boxes easier.
Use it
You know
for
what I
the
mean?
lentils.
Huh?
Use it for the lentil sprouts.
Oh my, Erin, I will. I
Really
have my
wise.
ribbon. It's very hard to find ribbon in quarantine. And then this is interesting. So this is a vibrator that you clamp onto for 5 minutes a day, and it shakes your teeth a little bit for 5 minutes a day to settle them into their new place,
Wow.
like this.
But
Huh?
then, when you go to have something, we'll definitely do not have a Mary's Gone Crackers during this.
Oh, you don't eat with them on. You take them off for eating.
But even when you take them off, do not have a Mary's Gone Crackers, because my sense is that your teeth then, if they're getting vibrated and moved around, a Mary's Gone Crackers is going to click you out in some way.
A Mary's Gone Crackers can break all your teeth. It's eating glass.
Say Mary's Gone Cracker instead of
Mary's Gone Cracker?
Yeah.
Mary's Gone Cracker.
You guys, was that
I'll have
fun?
Mary's Gone Cracker.
Did you have
It's been
fun?
fun, Reed. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I'm glad that you did that show and tell.
I have a project. You know what I mean?
Well, You have many projects.
That's true, actually. I have a lot of projects. I can't finish any of them. It's unfortunate.
Well, I wish you were in Brooklyn so you could help Aaron go through their tub of docu stuff.
No,
I would love that.
Lana Del Rey albums, all of them. Never cared about her until this financial year.
Wait, I'm sorry. What, you've been listening to all the Lana Del Rey albums?
Yes, it's perfect for organizing receipts so you can barely read. And you're like, 2013 into 2013 file. It's so awful.
Wait, why don't you just let go of all these receipts now?
Well, I feel like I should hold on to the 2013 through now receipts because what if I get audited? I'm scared.
How far back can they audit you?
7 years.
Stupid. They should, if they will only pay you 3 years back, they should only be able to audit you 3 years back.
Thank you.
You can go fuck yourself with that logic. That's fucked up.
That's like being like, you're old enough to serve your country in the war, but you're not old enough to drink.
Completely that. Completely that.
Wait, you guys, Jane told me that people who've had COVID can't serve in the military.
Cool.
Is that real or is that Twitter?
I don't know.
I don't know. Like, what I'm curious, I can see what people are writing in. If people have questions about what's real or not, you can ask us and we'll answer. And
yeah, will somebody watching fact check the military thing? Get back to us. Okay.
They're like, you can't wait in the military. You can be queer though now, right? Or did that get pushed back?
But I don't think you can. I think the trans stuff is still like Trump is fucking with it.
Trump is still no trans in the military.
Yeah.
Jane thinks it's real about the military.
That if you've had COVID, you can't serve in the military.
Correct.
Wow.
So maybe there won't be a military anymore eventually, you know?
This is our first step to world peace.
Mm-hmm. is getting the American military to stop.
Yeah. Making a rule that nobody ever will be able to serve again because every single person will get this infection.
I do not want to get this. I'll just go with trans and not serve.
Me too.
Aaron, you're too old to serve. Aaron, are you producing content in quarantine?
Well, it depends on what you consider content. I did a couple of IG Live concerts.
I love them.
Who produced those? They were incredible.
Me and my housemates who are both producers. Like,
oh, it was advanced, you know? It was advanced.
Well, I have the luxury of living with some people. I'm not alone. So we really
I love Gwen so much. Shout out to Gwen.
Sweetheart.
Gwen is lovely.
Yeah.
Major
Gwen, can you hear us? Gwen.
I think that she's with my other housemate up in her unit watching this right now.
Oh, that's so fun.
Oh, we're on TV. I forgot.
We are on we are literally on the TV checking in. But so you did those two concerts, but you must be writing songs.
Well, through the vessel of one of those animojis on your phone, the owl. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I've been watching her. I've been watching the songs come through her.
Yeah. But I'm like, I feel like I can't really make anything until I go through this tub. I have 2 projects in the works that I'm having a hard time looking at. But you know what I can see every day? This tub full of receipts. Because
can we see the tub? Do you think you could take us on a field trip?
Yeah, it's right next to me. There's a lot of stuff on the floor. It's like see the tub in the back there.
Very familiar. Very familiar.
Locking lid.
Yeah, and every day I have to move that pile out of the way so that we can all do this workout together.
What's the workout?
It's like a hedge fund wife, like cult following called The Class. Do you guys know of
Is
it?
it like Tracy Anderson style?
It's like Taryn Toomey, I think her name is.
Yes, yes, yes. It's where you like work out so hard that emotions come out. It's like,
I take the emotions.
yeah, it's literally. My friend did the Tara Toomey. Her name's Tara Toomey, right?
Taryn or Tara, I don't know. I haven't had her yet.
And you
Will
have
you-
to, in the course in her class, she'll make you bridge and you like keep bridging and bridging and bridging, and then you start crying, and she's like, scream, cry, let it out, keep bridging.
Wait, bridging like that? Bridging?
I haven't had to bridge yet, but the burpee level is pretty
Oh, this is very
It's wild,
physical.
isn't
You're
it?
not just going like this. You're like jumping around
yes, much to my
downstairs neighbors, something like that.
Yeah.
Are there any kind of esoteric moves? Will you show us a weird one?
Please don't make me do it again. My thigh is so sore. I just started that. That's another era. I really just started that. Like, I've been doing that for like a week. Before that, I was just like, let's eat until we go to sleep. And because you thought that quarantine was temporary. So you're like, oh, this is my eating vacation.
Yeah.
No.
Is cooking still interesting to you, or are you done with it?
You know what's interesting to me now is cooking like twice a week and trying to make those meals for many, many meals instead
Yeah.
of trying.
Will you give a recommendation to our listeners for a meal you can cook to make last?
Yes, I will. In the salt fat acid, I feel like I'm really revealing too much about myself with these details, but in
No.
the salt fat acid heat cookbook, there's a
Samin Nostrat.
Yeah. For buttermilk chicken, where you get a whole chicken, although, you know, meat, we can talk about the politics of it. I'm happy to. Anyways, we get our chickens through our set. But you put a whole chicken in a giant Ziploc bag. Don't get me started on plastic, but in a giant bag full of buttermilk. My joy as an Irishman. And you let it soak for 24 hours, and you kind of do sometimes, and then you just put it in the oven, and it is the most moist chicken ever. And I don't even like chicken.
Wow. And then what do you eat with your buttermilk chicken?
I don't think there's ever been a day we haven't had this in the fridge, which is another recipe from that book, which is just her coleslaw, which is
I love coleslaw.
It makes like 400 pounds of it, and I eat it for lunch and dinner every single day.
Oh, Jane is showing me information.
At 1 a.m. and Jeremy had made a bolognese this past week, and I went downstairs and I had a seltzer and ate bolognese with potato chips while watching the movie.
Wait, you dipped potato chips in meat sauce?
I did. I just took Frito-Lay's potato chips. I would never do this if I wasn't in Quar, and I dipped potato chips into the bolognese while having a seltzer and watching the news. That was just Rachel Maddow, but it was on again at like 1:30 a.m. talking about.
Not watch her during this. She is stressful.
It is, well, and it was all about taxes. It was like, are we going to see Trump's taxes now or ever? And it was like,
I can't watch her stress out about that anymore, because her face, you feel it. She's one of those people where when she has anxiety, you soak it up like a sponge, and you're just like,
it really comes through the screen. I do get like a sympathetic response to it, which is why I think maybe I have eczema around my eyes today.
Her studio feels more silent than the others, and I think it's because there's no one who's ever talking to her. She's always just alone, sort of like, and it's very cavernous, and she's really upset all the time.
And she's speaking directly to your soul. Like, she knows, she's like a Cate Blanchett. She knows how to work a camera.
She really does.
Special
she really does.
to the viewer.
She absolutely knows how to work a camera.
That's who should have played Carol. Rachel Maddow.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine? Oh my God.
That is incredible. Wait, then who would have been? Would Rooney Mara still have been?
No. Is there like an up and coming news anchor that we?
Oh, Kaylee Ann McEnany.
McEnany is.
Who is that?
She's the new press secretary troll.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who she is. Remember that press secretary? There was that one woman who had like 3 DUIs, and she was like only the press secretary for like a day. It was so good. I mean, what wild times. What wild times. Wait, Erin, for the 2 projects you're supposed to be working on, one of them I think I know. What are they doing now that we're in this?
What do you mean, what are they doing?
Like these commissions you have, like what are they doing?
Well, we were supposed to do a workshop in May for my project Little Surfer, which I'm making with Emily Bate, which is sort of like a choral, I don't know, choral underscored, like it's an exploration of humiliation with a choir.
Now, what's the choir? Who's the choir?
We got to build it. I think it's going to take a long time, but we want to build it. Emily actually is has a community choir in West Philly. They're not like some of them are singery, but it's for like non-singery, like non-professional singery people that just want to like be in a choir.
Jack and I'll be in the choir, but we can only come to like 2 rehearsals. We'll learn the music at home.
That's perfect understudy material.
Oh, no.
But I think we want like kick-ass like pro singers, so we have to raise $500 million.
Do you mind if I say who this commission's through, or do you want that to be kept secret?
No, it's through okay, good.
No, you say it.
It's through the public. It's through their like New York Voices program, and
yeah, it's really exciting. So, and I was really excited about this project. So then this happened. I was like, wait, so what? So are they just like, we'll get to it eventually?
Well, it's not guaranteed that it will go up at the public. They have they commission a lot of people like every year, and they're just Shanta and Alex through Joe's Pub. They're the ones kind of being like, we just want to put this in the best position we possibly can for the public or anybody else to like want it later. Yeah. So our plan was to like, you know, do some kind of version where we had like a section leader from each section of the choir, and then like all the actors in May, and then do a much more elaborate workshop in the fall, and then do like a work in progress showing at Joe's in the fall. You know, there's not a ton of incentive to work on it because I'm pretty deadline driven. So I was like, maybe I'll just make a zine. Like, you know, I don't know. But I'm having a good time reading Wayne Koestenbaum's Humiliation book, which I hadn't read before.
I was given that for a birthday. And I was like, and I opened it up and began reading it, and I think it might start, or it's at some point where he talks about playing the piano and throwing up while playing the piano, and continue to play the piano while you throw up, and as like an example of humiliation. And I was like, I can't read this book right now. I remember being like, I'm already so there.
I know.
I was like, this feeling of being, Erin, also, I just have to say, like, we have lived being humiliated on stage. Like, I don't want to get into it. Everyone knows. Wait, Erin, what?
That's why I have to make this, is so I can turn the fucking dial down on vomiting while I play the piano.
Yeah,
and
I get it.
That's why quarantine is a good, like, don't have to.
It's a good break. Hang on, I'm plugging in my laptop. Plugging in my laptop.
Do you want to hear something that's depressing that I've started to hear about people who left the city to stay with their families or friends during quarantine who are now giving up their apartments in the city?
Yep. I've heard a lot of that.
Because they're just like, why should I live here?
Well, because they're not there and they don't know when they'll come back and they don't want to keep paying the rent.
Or they can't afford it. You know, people have
Yeah.
lost their jobs, or their roommates like have lost their jobs and can't pay the rent. You can't find, you know, more roommates right now.
Oh, so sad. Yeah, my friend Casey, like a group of his friends in the city, because he's in Portland with his family, they packed up his apartment and put it in storage.
It'll be interesting to see like what the aftermath of this is in terms of like flight.
Yeah, hopefully there'll be less people in the subway. Yeah.
I mean, A of all, it's a real, I mean, fuck. I miss New York. I love New York. New York is home.
Yeah, I don't feel like I would want to leave really, although the summer makes me like a little itchy to leave. But you know, Gwen, my sweetheart, her mom is in her 80s and is like always on oxygen and like is severely, you know, immune compromised, and it's really scary for her to just be like by herself in an apartment in Ohio, and we're like, should we go to Ohio?
Right.
Should we stay with her? You know, it's like it's hard to know what the ethical things to do right now are.
Well, you know what's good about staying in the city? Taking walks is good because of the grid and because there's always a side of the street that's shady. Whereas here or other short places, it's blaring sunlight and highways. Very difficult. It's
Where
not
are
fun.
you again? Are you in LA?
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Reed's in LA. Reed.
But I am in
flew
Venice
out
with
to LA,
Tasmanian
like,
Walking Street.
How long ago did you go to LA?
5 weeks, a little over 5 weeks, I think,
That's so crazy.
or something like that. Yeah.
And what made you decide to go to LA?
I was alone in my tiny apartment and for a month.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started, my Aunt Jane lives here and has a guest house, and she offered immediately like, oh, you can come stay there if you want. And I was like, I sort of want to stay here in case my studio opens up, in case I don't know what's going to happen. And then as soon as it started to feel like, oh, this is really going to be long, I started to feel crazy. And I felt like very, very confined. And I was like pinning maps to my ceiling. And so I bought a plane ticket and I left.
Yeah.
She got her mask on and she left. And I was already up here. I'm about to say some things that have happened from the chat and some other things that have happened on this while we've been chatting. But
Okay.
I was teaching at Bard, and so I was by Parker, so I was like, she was like, please just come to the house. So I'm here, but I'm gonna go somewhere else in a bit.
Yeah.
Where I'll find out. So while we were all talking, our ladies, gentlemen, and other who were watching this episode got to see part of Singlet, which is truly will Erin forever be one of my favorite things I've seen ever in my life. And
tremendous show.
Our viewers got to watch that.
Wait, while we were talking.
Oh, we're gonna show a clip. Our producer's telling us they saw the intro, but they haven't
I got
seen
this
the
text from Jeremy being like, "Are you reading the chats?" And I looked over, and it's in the chats. It says, "We're going to watch a couple excerpts at some point." I just read that as like, "Oh, we're going to watch a couple excerpts." I didn't finish reading the sentence because I'm an Aries moon, and I felt
this feels like an appropriate Dance and Stuff intro into some excellent clips.
I accrued the knowledge I need to, but I want to say that Stephanie Merg said Erin's wet food is an anthem for our time.
Well,
the buttermilk chicken?
No. Erin Aaron has a show called Wet Food.
No,
you do?
I really have a single called Wet Food, but I just call the show doing a bunch of
I don't know about Wet Food. I'd like to see that. I'd like to get my eyes on that.
Oh, the song Wet Food, but wasn't the show that you sang that song in called Wet Food? It's like the evening.
Yeah, just the easiest thing to call it. Thing that I could feel proudest of, I think.
I mean, the title is really incredible. I mean, Singlet is a night that Ava, I'm so grateful that you shared a link with us. You must get it to the library. I'm concerned about it only being, this is how it is with my work too. I mean, it's when it's only in my hands, it really could evaporate with me.
It's a cul-de-sac situation.
It's a what?
Cul-de-sac situation. It's not on the freeway to multiple destinations with exits going every which way.
It's just going in tiny circles. So is that good? Should we play the clips now?
I think we should go to the clips from Singlet.
My mind is telling me no. My body is telling me yes. My mind is telling me no.
Really,
3. Wait, 2. We're back. Hello, and we're back.
And we're back. Here we are. So you all got to see a show. The night that I saw it, I went with Jeremy, and I sat between Jeremy and Cole Escola, for those of you who don't know, who's now really one of our most famous friends. And Cole's show was so good. Great choir content. Totally. And Cole and Jeremy and I laughed so hard. I don't think I've ever laughed. I haven't. I've never laughed harder in any show I've ever been at my entire life, and cried. I'll never, ever, ever get over the windows, ever.
Wait, remind me about the windows. What's the windows?
It's the daughter and mother washing the grandmother, who's also them.
Uh-huh.
So it's like family lineage all at once, and which is brilliant, genius theater making. And during it, there's also lesbian sex sounds happening. There's 2 female sounding voices making a and
me and Emily Davis.
Yeah, but it's this sense, but I read it in many, as I loved about the show, or what I want from anything, is many readings all at once.
Totally.
So Erin, did you have to close the windows, or was Emily having to close the windows? So Emily kept trying to close imaginary windows, but then the sound would come from somewhere else. And
I recall.
I love an imaginary anything, quite frankly, because ultimately this all is imaginary. So
everything is imaginable.
It really had something for everybody, including trying to fit into a tiny shirt.
That's the beginning. I mean, it starts from try to fit into this doll's shirt.
It's like a Chihuahua size, like jersey.
Who is your costume designer again?
Enver. Yeah, Enver Shakar, but I always pronounce his last name. wrong. So
It was
Oh, good.
genius. The set and the costumes were so good.
he's a genius. Like he's costume designed everything I've ever done, and I would die without him. I would say that the only reason that I care about making shows is like the incentive is always to collaborate with Ember on the look.
Well, if something bad happened to Ember, Harry and I would do it for you, Erin.
That's good to know because
Okay.
I really love your stuff.
We would try.
I
you
mean,
know?
Reed and Harriet are and Harriet came in after Reed and I had already started that relationship, but I love her so much. And I likewise have that feeling, Erin, especially because it is this thing of we have these ideas of some story we're going to make, but then it's but what am I going to wear?
Yeah, you have to. I'm just like imagining myself like wearing a thing that like satisfies me in whatever like disgusting or like gorgeous way is like it's like the definition of embodied whatever. You know, I had my nude time. It ended a while ago.
Same.
Garment time.
Same. I really had the nude time. When do you feel, because someone asked to speak to me about nudity on stage, and I said, I really pretty much stopped doing that at 30. And then they said, no, you didn't. And they cited another piece that I was naked in after 30, which I was like, oh. When did you feel your naked on stage moment ended? Mm-hmm.
Well, I will say this. Like I had right before I moved to New York, I worked at a strip club in Ypsilanti, Michigan. And it just became very normalized, like the silhouette of like wearing a dress and it ending halfway down your butt cheeks. Like, and that was my full-time job. And I would go out and I remember like for many years after that, like wearing a dress and it not ending halfway down my butt cheeks and being like, God, I just feel like an old woman right now. So it was like, it just became so normalized to wear just like a G-string and some heels that it wasn't like, I have to be naked on stage. It was just sort of like, this is, you know, some opera singers sing opera. But then
some of them, some.
That is really one of my favorite. That's like when to talk about why one does something on stage. Some opera singers sing opera.
But then after like time had passed, like enough time had passed between like sex work related activities and living another kind of life, that is when I started to be like, oh, I am interested in other things because it wasn't as normal for me to, I don't know. It just was a part of my life too. It was like the language of my life. It was like having to not be wearing.
It's, you know, the touch, the feel, the fabric of your life.
I remember when Reed brought the costumes for Rumble Ghost, which were just going to be gray sweats. And I was like, oh. And that was when I think that was the change for me. That also happened right around the same time when Reed was like, I don't think you should wear crop tops anymore.
But I also feel like the gray sweats was not just me. I feel like you were kind of like, oh, we're in group therapy. We have to be really comfortable.
Yep.
I did. I was like this. So this will look like it's poltergeist, but it actually ends up that we're in a group therapy session.
Right. That was a truly costume-less show. I mean, as stylized as it was really like, you have $10. And I was like, here's some junk from the thrift store. It's all gray. It's costume.
It's true. That might have been one of those, here's $300, do what you can.
Yeah, it's like, Carly, wear that thing that you're already wearing. Bring it from home every night. Thank you.
It's true. It wasn't a the bedazzled jackets you had from Singlet. Wait, Erin, what have you done with the costumes? Where are they? Are they in the basement?
I gotta text the stage manager. I barely wrote that down the other day. For archival storytelling, we had to make a list, like an inventory of all the different like kinds of media you have, which is an amazing list to make. It was like cassette tapes of my voice lessons, high school.
Do you have those?
Yeah, I do.
Wow.
But I don't have a cassette deck, so it's hard to know if it even works anymore, if it
I'm
melts.
sure you can get it
They,
transferred.
they still work.
I tried. I have this like cassette tape that my sister made for me on my 7th birthday, where she wrote a song called Leprechauns and like wrote it in her little like baby girl handwriting. And you can hear me beating on the door trying to get in because I want to be a part of whatever she's doing, but she was making me a birthday gift. Anyways, one year I put that in my cassette deck because I was just like, I have to listen to this. And the sound was all mutated and fucked up and like unlistenable. And I took it out of the cassette deck and just like threw it. I'm just like terrified. It's just like a tub full of receipts. Like if these
Yeah.
cassettes don't work, like kill me now.
If any listeners know the best way to transfer VHS and cassette tapes to digital media in an easy fashion that costs little money, please let us know.
Yeah, I mean, you have to take it to a place. In the basement in our apartment building, I have the video cassette of me playing Dionysus my senior year of high school.
Jack, we have to get all this stuff transferred because I too have a lot of priceless material on VHS, and it's all gonna
Priceless.
Wait, did Jeremy say priceless or you?
Jeremy said it.
Is our YouTube live over? It has truly been an hour.
It is the sands of time are dwindling out on it.
I have to address something from last week, which is that Justin Peck wanted me, because last week I learned a variation from Isabel Boylston and Giselle, and I did it on the whatever this is. And this week I learned the Agon female solo, and I did learn it and film it, and I don't know that we can show it. We might show it for the outro because we don't want to get in trouble with people that we work with.
The Balanchine Trust.
And if people want that video, I have 2 versions and we can DM it to you also.
I watched Reed do it's the tall dancer from Agon.
Well, there's 2 trios and a duet, and one of the trios has one woman and she does a solo. She doesn't have to be tall or short.
I think I've only seen Tess do it.
Tess does do it, yeah, sometimes. But
Click,
other people do it.
Click. It's so good. It's really
It has castanets, Aaron. It has castanets.
Aaron, you'll gag.
And the two men stand behind the female soloist and they clap in rhythm with the castanets.
Wise.
Theater.
Two queens clapping behind her.
Percussive.
Just like this. 2 queens clapping behind them.
We're learning the variation. I have to say there are parts of the variation where I was like, you would literally have to be a genius to conceive of this because the counting was so complicated.
Well,
Do you believe in the
Balanchine.
word genius?
Wait,
Huh?
Do you believe in the word genius?
Yeah, because I'm not sure. That's a hard one, but like if you think about it, like Mozart composed like a zillion pieces, and he could compose music when he was like 8 years old. So like that kind of brain functionality, I think, is indicative of genius. You know,
Spreadsheet fetishist, maybe he was.
Your mom may be a genius.
Aaron, do you know the last person to ask me about genius?
Who?
Wait, I'm remembering the story wrong. So, Solange Knowles came up to a table I was seated at Bubby's and asked me and these 2 queens if we thought Madonna was a genius. Because at the other table, Beyonce was talking about why Madonna wasn't.
Oh!
And
Beyonce and I agree.
And I was like, well, I think genius is really hard because for me, genius would meant you needed to have like invented something. Like,
I don't think genius applies to con artists. I think it applies to people with very high functioning skills. Like if Madonna could really sing or really dance
or invented something. Anyhow, so I went over to that table and I got close to Beyonce and I knelt by her and I was like,
No.
do you think you're a genius?
Oh.
Shut the fuck, Jack. That didn't happen.
Oh.
It did.
Okay, keep going.
Read it literally. I was like, wait, if Solange could come to my table, I should absolutely be able to cross the restaurant and go over there.
That's
I'm like small. What's gonna happen? And I was like 3 feet away. I didn't like get up in her grill. I wasn't like, hi. But I was like, do you think you're a genius? And she was sitting here and I was a little below her. I'll try to put you where I was to her. And she went, I do. And I was like, work.
She would be correct.
And then Solange was like, well, if there's this thing around genius, if we're not gonna use that word, then what's the word? And I said revolutionary. I think we can go with revolutionary.
All right.
Well, it's not like a flat identity. Like you can have genius moments and maybe some people have more genius moments.
That's what Martha Graham said. Martha Graham was like, you have genius. It depends how long you can keep it and how frequently you can use it.
Gotta meditate.
That's the truth.
Okay.
Oh no.
Wait, what'd you say?
Are we gonna get in trouble? Okay,
Well,
should I tell Netta
okay,
wants
so
to
we
see
are
the alley?
so we've had a request for seeing Reed dance. We're gonna outro on that.
We're calling it Back Alley Agon.
We're gonna call it Back Alley Agon. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Especially thank you, Erin Markey, truly one of my favorite people in the universe.
Thank you. You
Someone who is
made it into my journal this morning, so I don't have to repeat what you said back to me.
Send requests for next week's variation, everybody. And please try to recommend something that's outside of the statute of limitations. Thank you.
And Erin, I'm just curious, are you ever thinking that you might make Singlet available for people to watch online?
Yeah.
It should be a movie for Netflix.
I'll send it to them.
Okay.
And we have also had a question of, Erin, have you performed the song about a baby doll's labia since bath salts in SF?
Of course. Yeah. It was the crux of Boner Killer, which is the show I did in 2020.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we loves you.
We loves you. That was so pleasant, you guys.
And Erin, we especially loves you. And so now here we go into Reed dancing Back Alley Agon.